Hi, my name is Persephone, and today I'm going to show you a relatively advanced trick in Frostpunk called short burn. The short burn is when instead of keeping the generator on at all times, or for long periods of time, you just briefly turn it on and then back off in order to achieve some goal. One typical case where you will need the short burn is when you are low on coal, but have homeless people who will die during the night unless you turn on the generator. So just to exemplify, this is on expert difficulty or survivor but with pauses and saves, and this is what happens if we don't turn on the heating during the night. People are huddled around the generator, but homeless with no tent to protect them, and at 4 a.m. a lot of them will die, which is an outcome that is generally not desirable. It's people dead, is morally bad, it's less people that can work, it lowers our hope and raises our discontent, and if you are doing a deathless challenge, then people dying will kill your challenge. So we do need the heater on. Now let's see how a short burn works. So we're in the same scenario, but now we do turn on the generator, for example at midnight, and eventually we turn it off. My tell is that when you can turn on the generator overdrive, you can then shut down, and don't worry, it will turn off the overdrive automatically. And this will be enough for nobody to die during the night. As you will see, 4 a.m. rolls around and nobody has died, and we have 7 sick people, having spent 10 coal in the process. Now let's compare this to keeping the generator on during the whole night. Midnight, we turn it on, we will turn it off at around 6 a.m. And you will notice two very relevant things. Number one, nobody dies at 4 a.m. Number two, we continue having 7 sick people. And now you'll notice I'll turn it off at 6, and you'll notice we have spent a total of 41 coal by doing this. So the difference was 31 coal. Same outcome, but 31 coal more spent. So that's resources you could be keeping by doing a short burn instead of keeping the generator on during the night. If you keep the generator on at all times, the difference becomes even more stark, because you will need 144 coal per day to keep the generator on at all times. And that extra 30 coal or that extra 100 coal that you need is time spent gathering it, is time that you could have spent gathering other stuff. Maybe wood for research, if you want to go for a strategy that needs advanced research, wood for building the houses that let you save more coal, wood for building medical posts, hunter's huts, anything that you might need in the early game, steel for research or for gathering posts, wood for scouting, a lot of things that you could be spending the resources on instead of keeping the coal generator on unnecessarily. The short burn is particularly important in the Arks mission because you start with an automaton which periodically needs to refuel. It is easier to keep the generator on at all times, but that's a great expenditure of resources. The best technology to do is to use the short burn whenever it needs to refuel, either because you noticed it needs refueling by noticing that whatever pilot is working on is at 0% efficiency, or by knowing basically by heart when it will need refueling and doing the short burn. When does the short burn not work? Well, whenever your temperature hits minus 40 degrees, your medical posts, which will be always at capacity, especially on the highest difficulties, need to be heated to function. That means you need the generator on for them to function, and every second the generator is off, the people will not be healing in the medical posts, and eventually their status will progress to gravely ill, and they will die. So again, another outcome to avoid. So whenever the temperature hits minus 40 degrees, you can no longer consider the short burn. In any case, you should not be needing the short burn after building the housing, which really shouldn't take you more than day 2 or 3 generally. But sometimes your population might increase because some people arrived, or you got some extra people from scouting that you weren't expecting, and people are homeless. Short burn can come to the rescue in those cases. So it is a good tool to have in your arsenal, especially in missions where you start with a small amount of coal or where time is short to get the coal that you need to have the generator always on. This is especially important if you're doing challenge runs or survivor runs.